How is it going, everyone? Daxellz here, and today we're going to be checking out what if we combined all our planets into solar system by a riddle. Let's get straight into it. Before I start this video, I want to thank the members. Thank you, Jack the Bird 421, Ryan Reacts, and also Rice Curry for being members and supporting the channel. If you want to become a member, it's down in the description down below. It is 99p. If you can't do that, it's okay. It's fine. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment how your day's going so far. Without further ado, let's get into the video. And away we go.
This is Vega, the fifth brightest star you can see in the night sky. Recently, after 10 years of observing it, scientists have spotted a planet in its orbit. It's the size of Jupiter, and it has apparently swallowed all the substance contained in the star's protoplanetary disk. This, in turn, prevented other planets from emerging in the area. This kind of thing could have happened in our solar system too. Just imagine one giant mega Earth instead of our cozy little planet. What if we combine all the planets of our system into one? What kind of incredible worlds will we get if we add them one by one? And most importantly, could life exist on mega Earth?
That's actually cool. It depends what type of Earth it is, right? Like if it's terrestrial or not. I don't know. I don't know if it's too big. I think we've seen in a video it wouldn't work.
Earth if it turned into a giant, if it consumed all the mass of our solar system's protoplanetary disk, we'd have a planet 450 times larger than ours. Given such vast territories, tens of billions of people could live on mega Earth. Countries would be way bigger too. The smallest of them would be the size of a whole continent. And we'd need some new transport technologies to travel such distances. Perhaps we'd have to use flying cars. Wait a minute. Did we forget something? If the size and therefore the mass of mega Earth is 450 times greater, then its gravity would be considerably stronger as well. Its tremendous force would squash us down, and no vehicle would be able to take off. A human body just wouldn't be able to withstand this pressure. If it had happened during the process of evolution, we wouldn't have been able to walk on 2 feet and would have been crawling like snakes. And if it happened now, there'd be a lot of other bonuses. Sulfuric acid from Venus, ammonia from Neptune, arsenic from Mercury. To find out how our life can change under the influence of other planets' features once they merge into mega Earth, we'll add them gradually. Let's see what happens. We'll start with the largest resident of our solar system. What will we get if we combine Earth with Jupiter? It has a mass of 318 Earths, excluding the satellites. I guess it's too much to take all at once. However, Earth could absorb just a small amount of Jupiter's hydrogen hidden in its protoplanetary disk. Let's imagine we add just 10% of Jupiter to Earth. That's still going to be enough to erase all dry land from the surface of mega Earth. There'd be one endless ocean of liquid hydrogen under the thick blanket of the atmosphere. Astrobiologists have already given descriptions of the creatures potentially able to inhabit this kind of planet. Neuston. These are the organisms that live at the air and water interface. They're underdeveloped here on Earth since the wind quickly blows them away to the shore.
Dirty leaves.
On an oceanic mega-Earth, Neuston would become the dominant species. It would coat the ocean with a net of intertwined stems, which may be dense enough to bear the weight of small rodents and insects. As for big animals, they would turn into living boats, reluctant or even incapable of diving into the water, since all their food would exist above the surface. They would swim with most of their bodies staying up, just the way a hydrofoil boat works. That's because, despite any atmospheric density, a physical object still moves easier in the air than in the water. This kind of life would be similar to our present life as we know it. There may even appear a human-like civilization, but the more planets we add to this recipe, the stranger and odder life would become. What will mega Earth be like if we make it adopt the qualities of Venus or Mercury? Even half of each of them would be enough, and it's even less than the weight of Earth. Our planet could have easily taken over some parts of Venus and Mercury back in the days when it was forming next to the Sun. However,
Oh, yes.
even if we borrowed these small parts, the chemical elements found on their surfaces would affect our planetary conditions much more than we think.
Oh,
Mercury's
wow, great.
metal would poison the soil, and the thick layer of carbon dioxide common for Venus would cause a greenhouse effect, making our
Jesus.
surface unbearably hot. The
Yeah.
average temperature on Venus is 450 degrees Celsius. Moreover, it'd be constantly dark on the ground as sunlight wouldn't be able to reach it. Under such conditions, life would be like a hot air balloon festival. At an altitude
Wow.
of 60 kilometers, the temperature can range from -20 to +65 degrees Celsius. To reach the light above the veil of clouds, plants would turn into bubbles full of methane and hydrogen. Animals would follow in pursuit of easy prey. Flapping would be rather ineffective at that altitude, given the low atmospheric density. Instead,
What the hell is that?
using jet propulsion, animals would move up in the air the way squids move under the water. 99% of these creatures' bodies would be filled with the
That's
air
kinda cool.
necessary for flying, so they'd look like living hot air balloons. The remnants of dead animals would fall to the ground where they'd be devoured by bacteria insusceptible to the toxic metals of Mercury. Well, scavengers must have some benefits. So, according to scientists, high temperatures don't mean there can't be life. But would it survive in the case of permanent winter? What if we combine
Ice Age?
Earth with Uranus and Neptune? Most
cold
of their
planets,
planetary
right?
masses lie far beyond the habitable zone of carbon-based life. And if our planet consumed the substances of those planets, it'd be shoved to the outskirts where sunlight is scarce. Let's take Earth and add 50% of Uranus and Neptune. When it comes to a cold planet, cryochemical synthesis enters the chat. On the one hand, cold
the chat.
slows reactions down. On the other hand, even the least persistent compounds can thrive in this environment. The chemical bonds that are weak at room temperature freeze stiff to each other. That wouldn't be like any living organism that we know. The metabolic rate would be so slow that we wouldn't even notice the fastest predators moving, just like we don't see our indoor plants growing. And speaking of plants, we wouldn't be able to distinguish them from rocks or crystal growths. And these life forms would be huge. Otherwise, they wouldn't save even that little energy they'd be getting. So after we gradually put all these planets together, we can see that life will always find a way. But what if all of them suddenly merged into one body, as it happened with the planet in the Vega system? Gas giants make up most of our solar system's planetary mass. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune occupy 99% of it. So, in the case of their full merger, the true mega-Earth would also look like a gas giant, just like that planet orbiting Vega. While absorbing the mass, it came very close to its star. So close that it must be heated up to 3,000 degrees Celsius. And even if mega-Earth would be colder and farther from the sun, anyway, it wouldn't support normal life because of its severe atmospheric storms and the lack of a solid surface.
It would change the planet from a terrestrial one to a gas giant, right?
So, does it mean life can't exist without perfect conditions? I don't think so. When we were working on this video in our Riddle Labs, we created an ultimate creature that feels fine in absolutely any environment. We took a regular human, but filled 99% of their body with air so that they could soar in the sky. Then we added crystal armor and jet engines to let them move even when gravity is extremely strong. And finally, a sweater to keep warm. Leave a comment to tell us what you think life would be like under such conditions and how we can upgrade our ultimate human.
My dude gave a jumper to a random balloon, said it had feelings, and then that was the ultimate creature that will survive. Yeah, right. Okay, everyone, that was the end of the video. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you go check out the original in the description down below. Enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to check out more reactions, there's a YouTube recommended one there. The newest reaction or second newest reaction, if you're watching the newest reaction, the video up there. If you want to subscribe, it's right there. I will see you in the next video. Laters.